Hi guys, Marie Dyer here at Cowlick Ranch. I just thought today I'd give you just a little view of my home studio. I know a lot of people have been asking about where I sell my artwork, how I sell my artwork, and where I actually work. So I have a little home studio and a barn studio, and I work outside, but today I'm just going to show you part of my home studio. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions about any of the work you see today, please feel free to just contact me. I'll give you the specifics, sizes, prices, how it can be shipped. So here we go. First of all, there are some things I'm really proud of that I've kind of developed in the past couple of years that I think you're going to appreciate. So this right here is just kind of a group of silk scarves I have here at the studio. They're all hand painted. They're all original. They're silk, really lightweight. And it's so nice because every single one of them is an original piece of artwork. I have done custom ones for people on occasion. People who like specific flowers or colors. This one right here is of these cactuses, definitely inspired by my trip to Austin, Texas. I had posted earlier how I created it online. And this one I think you saw the other night, which was lobster and lemons. So I had taped that one also. Every single one of them has their own personality. This incredible zinnia one with the dark background. Each scarf is 14 inches by 72 inches. The colors are vibrant. They're permanent. It's a very lightweight silk, which is really lovely, especially when you live in a warmer climate. That's my Tree of Life. And then there are some that are much more modern. Some just very graphic. All depends on what your taste is. So those are some of my scarves. Of course, a whole collection of scarves you can find at Barn and Bloom in Merrimack, New Hampshire. Also at the shops at the Edison Ford Museum in Fort Myers and their shop at Bell Tower. I have prints that I always have available of some of my work. This is a little piece of GW Bridge looking over the university. When I was in Washington, I painted. Here is a painting that is one of my favorite. I call the painting Sisters. It's of white pelicans and their reflection. And the reason I love it so much is because it reminds me of my trips across Pine Island Sound in a flats boat and seeing these white dots in the distance. And there are these incredible group of white pelicans. I spent a lot of time traveling to North Captiva Island by boat to paint for customers, do custom painting for people. And then I have below it this painting, and this painting right here is called Fifth Generation. When I traveled to New England one year, we went through Pennsylvania, and I think the little town was actually called Hillsville, and it had this incredible old farm, partially dilapidated, but so beautiful with old tractors that were kind of broken down. And I loved the look, and it just reminded me of farms that had been passed down from generation to generation. I have a piece up here called Wading Waters, very southwest Florida. The sea grasses, the palm trees in the background. All these paintings are acrylic on canvas, gallery wrapped for the most part, all of different sizes. Underneath that, I have this piece. It's just called Bud. White flower, though not white. And below that, I have that great orchid piece that I painted the other night live. I finished it off with a beautiful bowl of lemons. Very fresh looking. And speaking of bowls of lemons, I also do paint bowls. It's one of the 3D things that I do, and they all hang on the wall. Barn and Bloom will have some this season also when they are back open. But this one is of lemons and orchids. I have this small painting, small old Florida landscape painting. A lot of the Florida landscapes are certainly based on my backyard here at Cowlick Ranch. I am lucky enough to have 80 acres of undeveloped land in back of my house. I do not own it all, but I certainly do appreciate it. Here's a painting that I worked on one day in the backyard, and I did it live. And then I have the painting of the cow that I did live also. It hasn't been wrapped yet, but it will be. So for now, I just hang it in my house. I have a really fun painting. I call it Family Reunion. And when I was at the Tampa Aquarium, I was mesmerized by these jellyfish. And a lot like my family, so intertwined and crazy and, full of life, that's what it reminded me of. I have a little more formal studio arrangement. And then above it, I have a little crazy orchid. Colors, I think, a lot like my life and personality. And then I have this little room in the front. Of course, everybody has seen the carved fish that I did partially live. And so that'll be hung either outside or maybe above one of my doorways. And a little series of small paintings. The one up top is the one that I really love. That was a little Portsmouth scene. Very simple, very quiet painting. Silhouette. I love it. And then when I talk about my back 40, this painting is a 3x5, very impressionistic. give you a good idea of how I create my scenes, my grass. I am a fan of this painting and of the lily pads. And of course, the painting I did the other day out back, staying afloat, Maine lobster buoys, netting, blossom floral, poppies, and tree of life. So this is kind of my workspace. Sometimes it's neater, sometimes not so neat. I work with wood. I work in paint. This is a great little painting of a restaurant out on North Captiva also. And the scene above my fireplace is actually from the Coconut Pavilion over at the Edison Ford. I make these what I consider fence post buoys, and they are little buoys made of wood, but old fence posts. There's a little piece of work, a Pine Island shack that I have yet to finish, so it's work in progress. So you can find my work. You can contact me if you have any interest or questions on anything, or if anything custom you might want me to work on. You can also find my work at the Edison Ford Winter Estates. They have several shops, and in Fort Myers at Bell Tower. You can find my work in Merrimack, New Hampshire, at Barn and Bloom, or contact me directly if you have any questions. I want to thank you so much for joining me. I know this was just a little peek. I have much more work that you will see in the future. Of course, everybody, please stay safe. Thanks for joining me. And as always, every day is a great day to paint.